Welcome to Subramani. I do not know whether to call this an entitlement video or an adaptation video or whatever you want to call it. So, if you have been in an Indian family, so when you were young, you were told constantly, study well and you will do well in life, right? So, the assumption is to do well in life, you have to study, and therefore, by implication, the more you study, the more you will earn, and the better you study, because if you got your first ranks, you will earn more than the others who have not got their first ranks, right? So this is ingrained in every at least every student I know, and somebody my age also, we have all heard this. So there is a huge feeling of entitlement. So a very senior doctor or professor in a place will say, I'm so well educated, I've done my PhD, I've done this, I've taught in various colleges, so I'm entitled to this. Similarly, if you're a neurosurgeon, neurophysician, you think you're entitled to certain things. The fact is, it's not true. Whether you're entitled or not entitled to something depends on your cash flow that you have, right? So when I look at some of the money that these people have, the question is the kind of standard of living that they aspire to have, and the retirement at 55 or 56 that they want to have, or maybe even earlier. It's completely, you can't even reconcile the two. And in some cases, it requires a huge life-changing event which makes people change. For example, somebody who is young, maybe in their 30s or 40s, and planning to retire at 52, 53, also want to make very expensive travel plans, right? They're not going to just do hiking. I mean, you can't really do that much in your 50s, right? So you will want to fly a reasonably good class, stay in reasonably good hotels. The question is, all this sounds fine, but when you put it into Excel sheets, you realize that many of them can't afford even these simple foreign trips. Foreign trips are expensive. Local trips are not so expensive, and thanks to the TCS, which is tax collected at source, your foreign trips are going to cost an extra TCS also, so there's going to be more cash outflow. Jokes apart, how do these people adjust to newer realities? And newer realities could be health reasons, could be some other reasons because of which there is a drain on their cash flow. Many people can't adapt, and some people can adapt. So I found a young couple. They were doing some business, they've closed down the business, they have an X amount of money, and then they are going around, I can't say they were going around, visiting very many tiger reserves, etc. And there are two ways to visit a tiger reserve. You stay in the MTDCs of the world and the Madhya Pradesh tourism, Maharashtra tourism guest houses. You save money, you go by a jeep which you share with 4 or 5 people, right? Totally 4 or totally 5 people, 6 people can go. Depending on all that, you will save money. The other thing you can do is to say, oh, we are a couple, we don't want anybody else, so you hire the jeep to yourself, and you do trips which can be full day. You go at 6 in the morning and come back at 6 in the evening. Does that cost more? Yes, it costs more. So when this young couple were, young means they must be perhaps in their early 40s, when they were talking about how much their business is doing well, and how many trips they are planning, etc. I was a little amused, but I did not tell them the implications of all that, because again, then there is a feeling, oh, we don't know how long we will live, we do not know whether we will have good health, so this is a good time for us to visit the Himalayas, do the treks, etc. And we do this. That's all fantastic. We are all entitled to all our vacations, but you have to find out who is going to fund it. If you do not know who is going to fund your vacation, how are you going to go on that vacation? And what happens when things go wrong? So there was this young couple where COVID took a toll, no, not in terms of death, but in terms of cash flow. So when the young couple were there and the boy's mother fell ill, they spent about 30 lakhs, which was not covered by, not enough was covered by insurance. The gap between what they incurred and what was reimbursed was about 30 lakhs for his mother. then suddenly they realize that oh, we need to provide for our old age. They realize that they need to provide for their medical emergencies, etc. Unfortunately or fortunately, some of these things have to happen for a person to be hit very hard, because when COVID happens to somebody else, it is the statistics in the newspaper, but when it happens to you, your neighbor, your brother, your cousin, then it hits home, right? So do you have to wait for such a thing? Can't you sit and do your math and realize whether you can afford to retire and go on expensive vacations, or you will have to be far more careful while spending in retirement? Thank you.